And here we are again, the Horror Guys, with episode 111. I'm Kevin.
I'm Brian.
And we're here to talk about some horror movies, and especially shorts this week.
Yeah, this time we've got 2 full-length films and 4 shorts.
We mentioned before that we tuned into the Horror Hound virtual online film festival this year, and we're still catching up on reviewing and talking about those.
And probably will be for quite a few episodes to come.
There were 3 days with a lot of stuff crammed into it.
Yeah, I think there was like 80 shorts altogether that we ended up seeing.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about all of them, but quite a few.
Yeah. So what do we got?
Well, this week we have, for the main film, is The House on Haunted Hill from 1999.
The Legend of the House on Haunted Hill?
No legends, no Hell House. It's
The
House on Hell Hill. The House on Haunted Hill, yes. Not the Vincent Price movie. This is the
remake
Jeffrey Rush movie.
The 1999 version. Yeah.
We've also got a psychological thing called the Parker Sessions.
From 2019. That was one of the ones in the Film Fest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And 4 shorts. We've got one called Look at What You Have Done. Another one called 1 and 2 People. Another one called I'm Here. And a final one called A Monster Origin Story. So lots of good shorts this time.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start?
Let's start with the more mainstream film, from 1999.
The House on Haunted Hill.
A remake of a classic, which makes it a classic, sort of.
We did the 1958 version a few weeks back. If you want to look that up, that's the one with Vincent Price and the haunted, maybe sort of kind of haunted house.
Yeah, in that version, it was not clear at all that there was anything supernatural going on. And here there certainly is. They updated that. There's no doubt.
Yeah, there's definitely ghosts and stuff in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one has, well, spoilers. It's
mostly
not supernatural.
trickery and subterfuge and people trying to fool each other. And, yeah.
This one is a little more straightforward in a supernatural way. It's directed by William Malone, written by Rob White and Dick Beebe. Stars Jeffrey Rush, Famke Janssen, and Ty Diggs. 1 hour, 33 minutes. Link to pick it up from Amazon in the show notes. I think this is also streaming a couple of places.
Pretty easy to see if you want to. And you should. Thumbs up.
You did like it,
yeah,
okay.
Spoiler, I give it a thumbs up.
I liked I did like it. It was fun to watch.
I liked it better than the first one.
You know what it really reminded me of in a lot of ways?
What's that?
13 Ghosts.
Kinda.
Similar aesthetic. I don't know who we haven't done 13 Ghosts for this podcast, so I'm not quite sure who did the directing on that. It's about the same time, I think.
There were some hints of that, yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar. If you like the one, you'll like the other.
Well, it starts with a huge insane asylum.
A huge
and later somebody
asylum.
thinks, this is a good idea to build a house. Let's convert this insane asylum to a full-fledged house.
There have been plenty of insane asylums that have been converted into hospitals or
and housing,
homes
and apartment buildings.
But one with the history of this place,
boy,
not going to happen. Well, this huge insane asylum is built into the side of a mountain.
I mean, it's a huge, beautiful kind of Art Deco building.
Oh, it's
really
looking.
nice, yeah.
In 1931, everyone and everything there is burned up in a fire, we were told. Dr. Vannicut was in charge there, and he was maybe the worst serial killer of all time.
Not quite a typical doctor. Doing lots of medical experiments on the patients and slicing and dicing, and just generally sadistic. And
Yeah, his spirit and all those who he killed are still said to live in the House on Haunted Hill. They actually call it that. We see a flashback of Dr. Vannicut cutting open a patient who is still awake. He's interrupted when the inmates take over the asylum. The place then goes into lockdown, and all the doors and windows are sealed.
But that's a problem when a fire breaks out.
Yeah, most of them all die in the fire. Only 5 survivors from the staff get out. And actually, that's a good excuse for having all the windows and doors sealed shut. In the original movie, they sealed all the doors and all the windows, and it just didn't feel realistic.
Because reasons.
This one with the crazy insane asylum, that's believable.
The mechanism was already there. They didn't add it for the house. It was built into it. Yeah.
So Mr. Price, not Vincent, that's the character's name,
Kind of a tribute thing going on there.
is being interviewed about the opening of his new amusement park.
That's Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah. They go up in the elevator to the roller coaster, but the cable snaps and they all fall to their death. No, wait, it's a trick. The elevator's part of the thrill ride and scares them half to death before they even get on the roller coaster.
And that was neat. And that's a real ride. I forget where it was.
With the elevator?
Yeah, they filmed it at a real place.
The elevator really does that.
Yeah, the elevator's part of it.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, I forgot what park that was at, but it's a real coaster and real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of leads up to you think, well, he's going to haunt this house. He's an expert on special effects and fakery, and you think, oh, he's going to haunt this house and fake scare these people.
Both him and the character in the 1958 version are kind of loosely Walt Disney based.
Yeah, this guy
parks,
more, I think.
movies,
more clearly because they show his amusement park work.
Yeah.
And he's brilliant at it.
So Price gets a call. His wife Evelyn wants her party this year at this place called Haunted Hill. He invites his friends, but when he leaves the office, someone changes all the names on the list. He offers $1 million to each person who can spend the night in the former Haunted Hill Asylum. Which, okay, so what I just said, he invited his friends.
Yes.
And if you were inviting your friends to your party, would you really offer them $1 million each to come to your party if these are your friends?
No.
No.
No, I wouldn't need to.
No. Now, these are. It turns out that these names that got changed are not his friends. He doesn't know any of them, so the $1 million is a good temptation.
Yeah.
But why would he offer $1 million to begin with?
I'll have, pizza rolls and potato chips and soda pop. And that would be enough.
That's a party, in my opinion. Yeah.
And bring your own snack if you want.
Now, in the original,
I wouldn't have to offer $1 million.
Again, in the 1958 movie, he invited his employees and certain specific people that he chose.
It was people that he knew were hard up for money, too, and would respond to this. So, yeah. Well, the list gets changed. The people that come are people that all need... they're hard up for money for various reasons.
But the $1 million was his idea.
It was, yeah. He had set that up, So the new people slid right into that.
I guess that's our first plot hole. Why offer that kind of for nothing?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, Watson Pritchard, the man who owns the house, comes out to walk the guests up to the entrance. Evelyn walks in and doesn't recognize any of her so-called friends. Price invited a group of people who are desperate for money, but these aren't the people he invited. He blames Evelyn for hacking his computer. Evelyn and Price clearly hate each other, and there are 5 guests: Pritchard, a doctor, a celebrity, a baseball player, and a movie executive.
So maybe it was not just strictly friends. Maybe it was people that he knew were hard up for money, but Evelyn knew them.
Yeah, nobody knows these people.
Yeah.
Just as Price pays the rent to Pritchard, the gears start turning and the whole place goes into lockdown for the night. "The house is alive! We're all gonna die!" yells Pritchard.
Yeah, he's a bit of a doomsayer.
He hasn't changed since 1958, has he?
Same character, yeah.
Price swears it wasn't him who closed the doors. Price gives each of them a handgun and a little coffin-shaped box. So far, it's kind of, with the exception of the asylum stuff, it's pretty much the same plot as the original movie.
Yeah, it is.
Almost exactly the same at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they go into the basement to see if they can get the mechanism to open the doors, and there's weird mummies and preserved bodies down there. Coolest basement ever, Kevin said.
Yep, I did. Yeah. Now, was this, before this, was where Price met with his guy who was there helping?
He does have a guy down there helping,
and we
do get
cameras. There's a guy who's got, and there are program tricks. And here you see that, there's a secret room, or a not obvious room anyway, where there's an assistant. And Price goes to see him and says, "What's with the lockdown?" And the guy says, "I didn't do it. And it's not one of the things I can control here." And stuff. But he's got cameras all over and tricks that are ready to spring on the guests. And
yeah.
So it looks like, Price is just setting up all this trickery and, atmosphere and everything, and he's behind it.
Well, there's all kinds of asylum and torture chamber visuals and sets as they explore the basement, including a thing called a saturation chamber. And is that even a real thing?
I don't think it was, no.
I can't imagine that actually having any effect on a person.
Are you talking about the oxygen thing or the
big room with the spinning shadow things?
With a kind of hypnotic supposed to be. I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, it seems dumb. Jennifer, the so-called movie executive, admits that she's just a secretary really named Sarah. Meanwhile, everyone gets separated in the basement. She follows Eddie from room to room until she gets scared. "Just wait until someone releases the darkness in this place," screams Pritchard.
Yep.
What? The darkness?
The darkness.
Wait till someone releases the darkness.
Uh-huh.
Melissa, the TV celebrity, roams the basement with her video camera, and inside the screen, she can see into the past of the old asylum. The others go looking for her, but they come to the conclusion that the house took her.
And it does look that way.
Yeah.
Or somebody did.
Price and Evelyn blame each other for everything. Naturally, they all split up to do various things, because when people start disappearing, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
In the haunted house, you always got to split up. Price sees the ghost of Dr. Vannicut on the monitor. They find Evelyn cooking in the electroshock treatment machine, and she's smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it done fried her. Well, the group locks Price in the saturation chamber. They think he did it. Dr. Blackburn stands guard outside. Inside, Price sees a psychedelic version of Vannicut.
And it's supposed to be hypnotic and psychedelic, and you stare at it, but just close your eyes. It was only visual.
It was driving him insane. All he had to do was close his eyes.
Exactly. Yeah.
There may have been some auditory there, but you can hold your hands over your ears.
Yeah.
Well, the others all figure out that everyone invited to the party is related to one of the staff of the original hospital.
The survivors.
The 5 survivors. They notice that Blackburn's name isn't on that list. Who is he? Meanwhile, Blackburn goes in and feels up Evelyn's corpse.
Oh, did we mention she was dead?
She's frying.
Oh,
they fried her in the
she was
electro
the one.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
But then he gives her an injection to wake her up. She's not really dead. The two have been working together to kill Price. She says they need one more body to turn everyone against Price, so she stabs Blackburn to death.
Surprise.
Never team up with a psycho woman.
Don't sleep with the dragons.
The others open up the saturation chamber and find Blackburn's head inside. They all assume Price did it because that's where they left him, and they all hunt for him, guns drawn. Well, Sarah finds Price and kills him excessively with her pistol. She shoots him like 19 times.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn comes to his body to gloat, but he was faking it with a bulletproof vest.
And squibs that were tied to
Yeah.
blanks in the gun, and he knew what she was up to, and yeah.
He grabs her and pushes her through a wall, which it
Uh-oh.
releases the darkness that was sealed up in that wall.
And then stuff gets really real.
The darkness grabs Evelyn and turns her to dust. Then it chases Price through the house. It takes Pritchard away, and Price runs through it, warning the others to run. Sarah and Eddie run through the house, trying to escape, while Price tries to open the lockdown doors. The shadow pursues relentlessly, but they find an attic window. Price sacrifices himself to save the other two. Sarah and Eddie crawl out on a tiny ledge outside as the sun rises. Oh, and suddenly they have $5 million to split, if they can figure out how to get down from that ledge.
Yeah, the checks were made out to cash. Nice a price to do that.
Well, there's a lot here similar to the original. The plot between the doctor and the wife, the cash prize for staying the night, and the lockdown are all right from the original. Jeffrey Rush even tries really hard to look like Vincent Price. The little pencil mustache, yeah.
Well, what they
Or maybe they were both looking like Walt Disney.
I think that was his intent, and he kind of ended up looking like John Waters.
Oh, yes. He said he was trying to look like John Waters. It was the idea, I think.
Oh, that was his idea.
And they said, hey, you look like Vincent Price.
Oh, okay.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
The asylum, the real ghosts, the gore, and the body horror are all new here. There's no acid pit this time around, but there is an actual supernatural entity. There's a lot more gore and lots more violence than in the original. It's not the exact same story, so watching the original won't ruin the second one, or the other way around. They're both good.
Yep, very much.
All right, so now for
our first short.
Short sequence here.
1 in 2 People.
1 in 2 People, a 2019 short directed by Ali Mashayeki, written by Oswald Mahogany, stars Matt Murray, Katie Boland, and Ashley Leggett. 8 minutes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
a group
pretty
of
darn
people stand outside a door in a hallway. Emily tells the others that something in the room is waiting to kill me. They all groan. This again? And you got to wonder what the backstory is there.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the guys want to go in to prove that it's okay, but Emily is terrified they'll never come back out. But they go in anyway. Crickets. Another guy wants to go in and see if it's fake or not, but he sees something and steps right back out again. He doesn't speak, but he's definitely freaked out. Oh, wait. There is something in there.
But what is it?
Yeah. Well, it looks good and has a large and interesting cast. There's no real explanation of why any of this is happening, and there's no real ending. Kevin ended this one exclaiming, "That's it?"
Mm-hmm. I did. I said that right out loud.
Not that
But-
he thought it was bad.
Right. I thought it was good, but I wanted more.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's not.
wait,
you're not
wait,
done
that's
already.
it?
Do more.
Yeah, it was good, but
Yeah.
again, it was just
Very abrupt.
a brief segment of something larger, it felt like.
That left me wanting more.
Yeah. And for something more, we could watch the other short film called Look What You Have Done from 2020.
I want to see do the also known as title. I want to hear you say that.
Regarde ce que tu as fait.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that French or yeah, I think that's French.
I believe so.
It's directed by Monica de Almeida, written by Ludovic Dreyfus, stars Nadine Leon Gobet, Ludovic Dreyfus, and Jason Granger. 10 minutes long, also known as Regarde ce que tu as fait. There is a link to IMDb in the show notes. Well, okay, so a young couple breaks up. Their date is over. Some guy walks up to her and whispers, "Look what you've done." Jacob looks down and finds blood everywhere. What has he done?
Well, something bad.
We flash over to the prison psychiatrist that comes to see him. He sees the strange man everywhere now, including right behind the psychiatrist, who is going on and on about schizophrenia. The man tells Jacob secret things about the psychiatrist, and soon she starts to get nervous and try to leave, but the door is locked. Well, I guess she believes him in the end.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
I did not see that ending coming, especially when we saw what they had done.
Yeah, and there's more to it than
Yeah,
that.
it's actually very cool.
Very, very cool. Yeah. I think of the shorts this week, that was probably my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I liked them all, but that one, number one.
Alrighty then. And then we've got another one here called I'm Here from 2021. They just keep getting newer. Written and directed by Eddie Frente. Stars Stephanie De La Tour, Hughes Faustin, Pedro Murillo Jr. 4 minutes long. And this one's also called I'm Here, Darkest Secret Part 3. And there are two other parts.
This is two.
Part 2, yes.
Part 2.
Yes. All right. Well, you get a little quote on here that says, "They say the best way to conquer your demons is to face them. What if, when you do, something goes wrong?"
Uh-oh.
Well, we see isn't that what happens like in all those bungee jumping videos we watch?
Well,
What could go wrong?
what could go wrong? Sometimes it does.
Yeah. Well, in this one, we see a flashback where a woman literally conjures a demon, and now she regrets it. And there's someone knocking at the window. Hey, what'd you expect? It's a 4-minute video.
Trust us, it's very good.
It's short, but the visuals are really good here. There's not enough story to really talk about, but the scene here that they give us is really pretty good.
And her acting was pretty fantastic, too.
Yeah. And our fourth short for the week, a monster origin story from 2021.
And I thought this was more sad than scary, but it was good.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, yeah. Directed by Ali Mashayeki, written by Oswald Mahogany, Jessica Pontus, stars Brock Morgan and Jessica Panas, 7 minutes long, another one of those really short ones. And we have Mark, a deadbeat dad, who shows up late to take his daughter to a birthday party. The two adults argue over who's the biggest monster. Little Emily actually thinks her daddy's name is Monster. The little girl has the world's ugliest doll, and her mother wants to know, Who gave this to you? It's to keep the monster away, the little girl explains. Her mother takes the ugly doll away.
Shouldn't have done that.
Her father comes back over, and the little girl hears the arguing in the next room. Something approaches the girl from behind.
Are monsters real or not?
Oh, I think we've established that. Well, it's not quite clear who the monster is going to turn out to be until the end, but it's really not much of a surprise when it happens. It's well made, and kudos to having a good child actor.
Yes.
Little kids are
That is
so
always appreciated.
hard to get good. Yeah, they're either annoying or...
Unnatural.
Yes, very
They're
unnatural.
unnatural
Yeah.
so often. Yeah.
All right, so we have a longish one next. The Parker Sessions from 2019.
Crazy.
Very.
This was a crazy movie.
Written and directed by Stephen Simmons, stars Bill Gillane, Danny James, Rochelle Shawn. Hour and 21 minutes.
Who's crazy and who's the bad
I
person?
love the credits on this. Bill Gillane gets top billing. He is Other Man in Truck.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half movie, and the top billed guy has... I don't think he has any
micro
lines.
scene. It's a blink and you miss him.
Yeah, 99% of the film is Danny James and Rochelle Shawn talking.
Yeah.
And there is a link in the show notes.
And it is talky, but
It's very...
but it's very good.
The sessions, their
yeah,
therapy.
Yeah. Therapy sessions is the main thing.
Well, we
But
start out...
it's pretty sick and twisted.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes places I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting either. So don't spoil it too much.
Oh.
Or have you already? I'll tell all our nice
I got the whole detail.
All our nice
we can go through the
readers.
first couple acts.
Okay, yeah.
It has 4 acts to the story.
Yes, literally divided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, first act. A girl goes in to see Robert the therapist. She's Parker. This is her first session. She's been through all this before with other people, and she doesn't like their advice. Her doctors don't really listen. He asks some questions, and we see that she socializes a lot and does drugs as well. She very quickly starts pushing his buttons, and he does seem to annoy easily.
And I like how they filmed it too, where they're talking and do you really do drugs? And she's like, no, not really. And then this flashback scene of her snorting half a pound of cocaine or whatever it was. It was something extreme, and same with socializing. It was
She'd say one thing and we'd see another.
Yeah, and then it flash back to what really happened. Yeah. Well, she's not quite being honest with this therapist.
He asks lots of questions, and we get a glimpse into her life. She recounts a dream where a man murders her mother. Robert is clearly bored listening to her talk, and he tells her a story where he's walking down a trail alone and all his teeth fall out one by one.
And why is the therapist telling a patient this?
Yeah.
So there's the strangeness. The strangeness begins right there.
Well, she continues, talking about being stalked by a shadow. He recommends the next time that happens to face the shadow and kill the boogeyman. Their session is over, so she leaves. All right, that was harmless enough.
Mm-hmm.
Act 2. Parker sits around the house all day and smokes pot and ignores phone calls until she starts obsessing over the creepy man in her dreams. She's clearly got some real issues. She gets high and goes to the fair.
Made me want to go to the fair. Made me miss the fair.
Act 3. Robert recommends some books Parker could read. She wants him to personally come to her house and help her face her fears. What?
Don't do it.
He wants to refer her to someone else for help. She hands him a box of blackmail photos of Robert and a young boy in several compromising positions.
Whoops. How the tables have turned.
Parker knows way too much about Robert because of his Facebook page. She wants one night with him, and then he needs never see her again.
Uh-huh.
Act 4. Other stuff happens.
Yeah.
All right, well, this whole thing...
It's a good one.
Yeah, this whole thing is filmed in black and white, which was kind of an interesting choice. It's mostly just two people talking in a room for the most part, with lots of flashbacks.
The majority. Yeah.
And it's never boring.
No.
The tension builds up really slowly, but the climax is awesome and very gory.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that was the black and white choice. They could have more blood.
Yeah, I think when you got a lot of low-budget gore. Yeah. Well, there's only 2 real actors here. Danny James is the therapist, and he alternates between bored and helpful throughout. He's been in a ton of stuff and always does a good job in his roles. Rochelle Shawn is really good here. She steals the show, and this is her one and only acting credit ever.
At that point, hope it gets better. Hope there's more.
Well, 2019 and still nothing else.
Oh.
The film hasn't really been released to the public.
Oh, right. Okay. She needs to do more then.
Yeah. I'm glad we saw this as part of a horror marathon. This probably isn't the kind of film I'd have had the patience to sit through or even choose in the first place. But it was really unusual and pretty good, I thought.
That's the beautiful things about these horror festivals.
You'll watch things you wouldn't normally
You get to
choose.
see all this cool stuff.
And that's our show.
Yes, it is.
It's a short one this time. That's what happens with all these short films.
Uh-huh. Shorts.
Thanks for joining us. Stop in during the week at HorrorGuys.com for news and horror updates, comment on the podcast, or to contact us, or to find links for our books. The Horror Guys Guide to Shock Theater, The Horror Guys Guide to Son of Shock, and The Horror Guys Guide to Hammer Horror. What are you laughing?
Because the furnace just came on, and I'm wondering if the audio is going to be, if every word you just said is drowned out.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, get ready for next week where we'll be watching some more classics. We're going to watch the very recent Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021.
Who will win? And a documentary called Stale Popcorn and Sticky Floors. And a low-budget thriller, The Beast Beneath from 2020. And Trilogy of Terror, an anthology from 1975, and another couple of short films.
You remember Trilogy of Terror, right?
Yeah.
The little Zuni doll running around?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
It's
one
a
of my
classic.
favorite movies.
Talk about an awesome one. Yeah.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.